Yo, it's T.Ho. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about commitment issues. But not the commitment issues you're thinking about, because I don't have experience with those kind of commitment issues, unless I already have them. But that is for another video, if that even makes it onto the channel. But today we will be talking about college commitment. And before I begin, give me just 1 second. I need to check something here. Oh, there you go, much better. Okay, so guys, yes, can't believe it. I am committing to SDSU. The day that I'm filming this, I'm not technically committed yet because all of my transcripts and everything from the community college that I went to and my AP scores need to be sent over. But as soon as that is done, I will be committing to SDSU. First off, I wanted to give a shout out to Joey Gibson, aka the Popular Outcast. Go check him out on SoundCloud. I used his music in my last video, and if you enjoyed that, go check out his music. It's really good and I love his music. I'm so thankful that he let me use it. Another shout out to Eden, aka Edamame. Her YouTube channel is so awesome, and honestly, she's a queen herself, and she is so kind to just be willing to help me out all the time. So thank you to her. And then also a quick shout out to The Nail Tip Show. Go check out their YouTube channel as well. I will link that down in my description. And also be sure to listen to the Mature podcast because my sister puts a lot of time into that and I actually love it. Before I begin, I want to say a quick disclaimer that these are all my opinions and just information that I've gathered, and this is in no way anything bad towards the other schools that I mentioned in this video. So yes, just want to make that clear. Okay, we're good. Now let's begin. So, if you are still here thinking that this video is actually about commitment issues, I am sad to say, but you are a victim of clickbait. So before I also go into the nitty-gritty things, first off, I'm 18. I am Vietnamese Chinese. I applied to 11 schools, and all 11 schools I applied under mechanical engineering, which sometimes I can't tell if I messed up on that or if I didn't, because that major is very hard to get into. Almost everywhere. But you know, it's cool. We're chilling. So 11 schools apparently is a lot, but it honestly wasn't, since UCs and Cal States are all one application. So I applied to 5 UCs, 4 Cal States, and 2 privates. Of all the schools, 3 or 4 of them were reach schools, and 3 of them were safeties, and the remainder were in-betweens. And so when it came down to it, I was deciding between UCR and SDSU. If you're looking out for schools and you're not a senior, just quick tip in advance, do not over-research. And I'm being so serious when I said that. You know why I'm saying that? Because I did it myself. To be fair, my excuse was that there's a whole pandemic going on, so it's a little difficult to get information when you can't go on campus tours. Thank God we have the internet, right? But then there was a certain point that I just kept researching and I knew too much about both schools, where when they would tell me something factual about the school, it wouldn't really help with making my decision, because either 1, I already knew that, or 2, it was just all too much. That is all mush. I would just start mixing up the information. It was really bad. But yeah, just over-researching is not really a good thing. So when it came down to it for me, even during the whole quarantine time, my sister and I were able to go visit the campuses, and obviously we couldn't go really do a proper tour, but I was able to just walk around and see the buildings that I knew that I would at least be going to. Don't worry, we were still social distancing, so yeah. Because I was over-researching information from both schools, these were things I didn't put into consideration. The campus size / the amount of students that were going, because I knew both schools were gonna be huge anyways. Social life and the rankings from other sources. Because I've talked to a lot of past seniors, just anyone that's gone to college, they all tell me that the same thing, where college is just what you make of it. So that's kind of why I didn't consider social life or the like rankings for those schools, because honestly those are still like very opinion based, and I just think that with social life, for example, if I want to go out and see people, I'll have to do it myself. And then as for like rankings, there's obviously rankings for like, oh, what's the best school, but again, that's based off of opinion and experiences. So yeah, I don't recommend listening to other people like or other sources when it comes to those things, because like everyone is saying, college is what you make of it. So yeah. Academics from both schools, UCR was definitely higher in almost all the rankings that I looked at, and like still SDSU is still up there considering that it is a Cal State, and then UCR is just good because it is a UC. But for me, when I was considering like academics, I already had in mind that like I'm getting the degree at the end of the day, or like after I finish my time at those schools, I'm getting my degree. I have my own goals and I have my own ambitions, so the degree is just gonna help me get there, and the school, I mean, they can offer me resources, but again, it's still up to me to do whatever and to achieve whatever. So yeah. The main thing that I looked at when I was like considering academics for both schools, I looked up grad requirements for my major from both schools, and I was checking out the courses that I would have to take in order to graduate. I was just looking at it roughly, and I knew obviously a majority of it would be the same, like I'd be doing the same math, like engineering classes and like science classes. But then there were like certain classes that I knew I would have to take with UCR versus SD. And frankly, I preferred SD's grad requirements. Although at UCR it is a quarter system, I'm completely aware of that. Honestly, I was asking my friends about the quarter and the semester system, and honestly, everything just evens out. Like, you adjust to it eventually. Semester system would be easier to adjust to since my high school already has a semester system. But at UCR, I'd be able to take more classes under the same time. So I don't know, I like the course options better at SD. And then also another thing was that I knew, just thinking about the UC and the Cal State system in general, the Cal State system is kind of teaching you more like what you're doing with your major, or like what you will do when you get that job. And the UC system basically teaches you like why you're doing it, because it's very research based. And frankly, with my learning style, I really liked the Cal State system better. And now to the visits. I obviously couldn't get proper visits because there's a whole pandemic going on. But my sister, I'm so thankful for her. She was willing to drive me to go just see the campus. And don't worry, again, we were social distancing, we wore masks, and like we made sure not to stay in contact with anyone other than each other. When I went to visit UCR, my aunt came with me, and it was really nice. The campus is so big. I didn't even explore like the whole thing because we were like tired. Even though it was cloudy, like I saw that it was such a beautiful campus. I actually really liked it. But then I also visited SD, and like I loved it. It was absolutely stunning. SD has like a train station on campus. Their public transportation is like really good. I was looking around the campus, like what was surrounding it, and there was a lot of things going around. Like I could hit up downtown SD really quickly. And then UCR, a lot of people say that there aren't really things around, and although that is true, there was still like stuff to do. Like there was like good boba places around and whatnot, but the feel of the campus, I enjoyed UCR, but I kept noticing that like when I was there, I was trying to convince myself like, oh yeah, this is the place for me. When I knew, like as soon as I got onto SD, within a few minutes of just walking on campus, I was just like, no, this is it. Like this is the place I'm gonna go. Honestly, it was really nice to finally have that feeling, and I think that's why it's important to go visit campuses, even if you're not gonna go on a proper tour or if there aren't really many students there. Me being a high school student in Claremont, we have our Claremont colleges like nearby our high school, and a lot of times high school students go to the Claremont colleges to study at the Claremont library at Honnold. And oftentimes I would just walk around campuses and kind of just like explore. And Scripps, which is one of the Claremont colleges, is really like green and so beautiful. And when I hopped onto SD, I honestly felt like Scripps vibes, kind of just were there as well, because there were like little gardens and whatnot, and like it was beautiful, and I felt very comfortable there. And another reason why I think that touring is so important is because I was trying my best to find out the worst things about those schools. Because for me, if I could endure learning about all those schools and imagining myself going through all of that and still be like, yeah, I want to go to the school, then obviously, yeah, I want to go to that school. So UCR, like, it was obviously a little hard to find like bad things about the schools, because obviously the schools don't want to release like bad information about themselves. But I would ask two of my friends that go to those schools currently, and I literally asked them like, what was the worst day at your school and what did it look like for you? Obviously that caters to each individual student, but I kind of got a general idea of like, if I was having like a mental breakdown on that campus, would I still be okay? And so as I was walking around those campuses and like walking on it and looking at everything, at UCR, I was just like, yeah, I'd be comfortable here, but like, I don't know. I was very unsure. And then at SD, I was just like, I can recover myself from a mental breakdown here, like completely. It was just so beautiful and it's so peaceful. I just imagine like me having a mental breakdown in my dorm or like the library from studying so hard or something, I don't know. And then just taking a quick break, walk around the campus really quick and just coming back and being like, okay, I'm here, I'm present, and I can focus again. I just wanted to share that because I know other students they just kind of consider like, oh, if the location's nice and if it makes me happy. Like, of course you want those things and of course you want to be happy with where you go, but can you imagine yourself on your worst day there, you know? Cons, I guess, about SD that I was noticing was that the financial aspect of SD. So tuition is so cheap because it is a Cal State compared to the UCs. But the thing is, housing is like, the price of housing is just like so much. And it's freaking insane. Financial aid at SD is just not good. Like, I'm gonna just put that right there, like, period. It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest. Now, UCR, because it is a UC and they do have like more funding, their financial aid is like pretty A1. Like, if I went there, I would have only paid a couple $1,000s. But at SD now I gotta pay a few more couple $1,000s, so yeah. But to me, although money is a big issue, and if you guys really can't afford college, then obviously that is a big factor for you. But to me, financial aid, although it is a factor, it wasn't the biggest factor for me, because I just knew that at the end of the day, I'm getting my degree and I will be getting like that job with that degree, and I'm gonna pay that money back eventually. Obviously, I don't want student loans. That is not what I'm saying, because girl, no one wants student loans. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like if I know I can thrive at that school, then paying all that money will be worth it in the end. And so where am I gonna make my money worth it? Anyways, thank you for sticking around through this whole video if you are still here. If you have any other questions about committing or specifically towards UCR and SDSU, feel free to ask away, I don't mind. And then also, if you have questions regarding like the different UC and the Cal State systems, because they are public California schools, that was also a big thing in like my decision, because obviously they are two different systems, so I had to actually like decide, so it was weird. But yeah, I did not apply to any out-of-state schools because I knew that I wanted to stay in California. I want to be able to see my family on weekends. Again, if you have any questions, ask away. Don't mind. If you are a senior going to college, congratulations, first off. And if you're an underclassman or if you're a prospective student, I hope this video helped. For anyone out there that needs to hear this, if you got rejected by a dream school or whatever, don't worry about it. It's not worth being sad over, because honestly, things do happen for a reason, and do not forget it, because it's just really important to understand the process and just go with what life gives you, you know? Everything's gonna be okay. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and again, if you still think this video is about actual commitment issues, you're on the wrong track, sweetie. Okay, bye. Thank you.